Hello ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Hope you're having an awesome day. You join me on a Saturday at the traffic lights at the Rest and Be Thankful on the A83. I thought I would just quickly turn the camera on. I've done a few videos on this stretch of road here, the infamous A83 Rest and Be Thankful, which has been plagued by landslides after landslides after landslides. Purely because I wanted to give you guys a wee sort of insight into what's happening with this section of road. Now, there's been a lot of work getting done over the past maybe year. Well, there's been a lot of work happening over the past number of years because landslides keep happening. Each time you think they've fixed one section where a landslide happened, the landslide just happened somewhere else. So as you can see, this is the big, humongous, kind of big hole in the side of the mountain that they've basically dug to try and catch any debris and that comes off the hill. So if there was a landslide here, in theory, it should fall into that big massive hole in the side of the wall there. That big. Basically, for the amount of time that it took them, they basically just dug a big hole in the side of the road. That was their solution. That bit there that we've just passed, that's the bit they've just finished, because that's where the landslide happened before. And they're actually resurfacing the entire section of this road. Now, there was a hell of a lot more equipment up on this bit of road than there was now. And the fact that the actual hill work, as far as I'm aware, all the hillside work and that is now done, and the fact that they're now resurfacing the road could potentially mean that the Rest and Be Thankful will actually be fully open with no temporary traffic lights very, very soon. At the moment there is night closures. That's bouncy, that bit of road. At the moment there's night closures on this section here just so they can get the resurfacing done without having to stop traffic all the time. And then, to be honest, I think the traffic would just get in the way anyway of them trying to resurface this section of road. Now, I believe for the night closures they're using the old military roads whilst the road is getting resurfaced, which is actually to my right hand side down the bottom of that quite severe hill. Down there, that is the old military road, which we will pass the entrance / exit to it in about 30 seconds or so. The old military road is the one that gets used whenever there's something going on in the main section of the A83. You can probably just about see the old military road there on your right hand side. Basically, the old military road, instead of climbing up the Rest and Be Thankful and then getting to that point, the old military road kind of sits at the bottom of the valley, and then it's not until you get to the very end of it that you start winding your way up the hill and basically coming out at the actual car park where there's normally a little burger van there, and he was there today as well. He passed me just as I was coming back up from Lookilphead. He passed me going back to Lookilphead. But to be honest, this section of road, they need a permanent solution for the A83 Rest and Be Thankful. It's always in the news, it's always in the headlines. Whenever there's bad weather or something like that and a landslide happens, it gets put on to like BBC News and Sky News and stuff like that, especially up here in Scotland, because it is a main arterial route that connects the likes of Glasgow to the Argyll and Bute area and everything like that. So they need to find a permanent solution to try and figure out how they're going to solve all these landslides that keep happening. And yes, like I say, as much as you've seen in the video, they've dug that big massive catch pit, whatever the hell they want to call it, a big hole in the ground, I don't know. And it might work, but that's not a permanent solution. Isn't hell a permanent solution? Because let's be honest, if there's a landslide and that pit fills up, it's only going to keep filling up until eventually X number of landslides have happened to where the pit's then full, and once the pit's full and another landslide happens, the debris and everything's just going to go straight across the pit and onto the road again. There's just not a permanent solution yet. And I use the word yet kind of loosely because there has been so many proposals put forward to try and figure out some kind of solution to this whole issue that happens, and the rest be thankful. And as far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure I read an article about this because it was posted in one of the 83 Facebook pages that I'm part of. If I can find the article, I'll link it down below in the description if anybody's interested in reading it. But don't hold me to that because I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but I'll try and find the article anyway. But what it basically is saying and showing us is that what they want to do is kind of very similar to what's done in America, which is basically you build a big concrete structure over the road, aka making it into a tunnel, and therefore doing that, any landslides that inevitably will happen won't affect the road, and it should, in theory, just go across the tunnel and then down the mountain. Now again, that's been a plan that's been proposed many times, and I don't think until recently it's not been one that's been like really considered, because this is going to cost an absolute shit ton of money to do. Pardon my language there, but it's not going to be a cheap solution. The Scottish Government is going to have to pay hundreds of millions of pounds to fix this, and I think they already know. I think the budget at the moment, or the initial estimation of costs for this concrete tunnel structure is about 150 to 200 million pounds or something like that, I think. Again, I could be completely wrong with that one, but it's not exactly going to be cheap. Well, like I said, I'll try and insert an image on screen now of what the plans kind of look like for this road. It needs to be sorted sooner rather than later. It needs to be sorted sooner rather than later, because the stuff they're doing just now, like I said, it's not a permanent solution. Unfortunately, there will be another landslide at some point. It is inevitable when we get really bad weather up here, when we get, like, say we've had like a couple of days of torrential downpours of rain. The hillside's going to be that soggy and that wet that inevitably something will happen to where it's all just going to come down. They have planted, I don't know how many trees on that hillside now. That was that was like part of their like temporary fix, was to try and plant a shit ton of trees on the side of the hill to try and get the roots of the trees to anchor it down. But however, because the trees have just been planted and they're only like little saplings, the roots aren't going to be that advanced and that taken into the ground that it's not going to hold it anytime soon. You're talking a good wee while before the roots really take anchor into the ground to try and hold it in place. So inevitably, I'm going to say now, inevitably, regardless of what they've done, there'll be another landslide and the rest be thankful. There will be. It's just, it'll happen at some point. It will happen at some point, you know, and as per usual, it'll probably happen at a completely different location to where all the money's been spent so far trying to temporarily fix everything. I can guarantee it'll happen somewhere else on the rest and be thankful. And they'll be like that, oh for fuck's sake, now we need to bloody fix this bit of the hill. It's like, well, had you have got your finger out your arses and actually have, you know, come up with a permanent solution a bit sooner, you wouldn't be spending all the taxpayers' money doing these stupid little fixes. That was a bit of a rant. I understand that was a bit of a rant there, but it's for somebody who's driven on this road for many years now and who relies on it and who knows how much of a pain in the backside it is when the rest of me thankful is closed and you have to use old military roads, or heavens forbid that both of them get affected by a landslide and then you've got to do a 60-mile detour to get back on the bit of road you're trying to get to. You know, that's the reason why I'm kind of talking about this, because it is something that really does affect not only me as a driver on this road, but it also affects all the other companies, all the other businesses. It affects the tourism part of it as well, because let's be honest, Mothergill relies on tourism during the summertime to keep it going, you know. And if people come here and then they think, oh my god, I'm going to have to sit in this traffic forever, well, we'll just turn round, you know. It's stuff like that. Anyway, that was a kind of somewhat rant, I suppose you could call it, but sort of, I wanted to let you guys see what's been done to the rest of the Thankful, just in case you guys are interested in it. I don't know if you guys are, but I thought I would give you guys a little view of what's been done over the past number of months and years to try and figure out an issue, or not to try and figure out a solution to the issue. That was my phrase of sentence that I was trying to say there. And yeah, some people might not like it, but I just thought, you know what, I'm travelling down, I might as well just video it, because I hadn't travelled on the 83 for a while there, because I've been up in Oban all the time. So it was quite interesting to see the fact that what's been done since I've been away. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. That's me now coming into Tarbet, not to be confused with Tarbert, because they are definitely not the same place. They are very, very far apart. I spy Mr. Traffic Police car. Ooh, that's very narrow. He fairly shot out of that. I think he's clocked somebody, do you know that? Because he was sitting in that entrance junction, in that junction bit there. I think he's clocked somebody speeding, do you know that? Because they do like to sit there and get speeders. Anyway, that was a bit of a side note there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like and everything like that. And when the next video is, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that part out, but there'll be videos coming soon at some point. Until then, have an awesome day wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you guys very, very soon in the next one. Bye for now.